Alright, here we are, live, ready to get started with this pull. I just added Surag into the lot of winners. Anybody else want in? Anybody else who happens to be here right now? Maybe you've been holding out and decided that you wanted to see it a couple more times before you try it. I'll give you a shot. Let's see if you want to get into it right now. I am going to add in 3 $10 chips this time. There are going to be 4 game chips this time and 4 bonus chips. Bonus chip means when I draw a bonus right before your name, you get 2 coins, not 1. A game chip means that you get to play the high-low game. Means when I pull the game chip, then pull your name, the first coin I pull out is going to be your starting point. If you can guess whether or not the following coin is higher or lower in date order, then you continue and keep going until you lose. You lose when you guess higher and it's lower, or you guess lower and it's higher. If it's a tie, you always win. Hello, Kelly Ray. Good evening, good evening. If there is anyone who is not currently in on the game and wants to get in, you need to let me know now. If you're not in, you need to let me know so I can get you in. And we're just about ready to get started here in a few minutes. Now the reveals got completely filled up. Matthew, no, the last video did not get you in on this. This is a different thing. This is not a reveal. This is a pull game where we purchase. Well, I'll just show you one of them. So this is one of Kelly Michaud's chips. So you get a poker chips. You get 10 poker chips, up to 10 poker chips per person. They go in this bag. I draw them at random. I pull the next coin out in the box, and that coin is yours. These are all uncirculated wheat cents. There's wheat cents dated all the way back to 1934 in here, all uncirculated. Spots are $3.50 a piece. Given that spots are $3.50 a piece, it's $35 for a full complement of 10 chips. The only reason I limit it to 10 chips per person is because participation is always such that it makes this a 2 to 3 hour show to begin with. If you want in, you can let me know, and I will get your 10 chips ready for you and get you billed so that we can get you in the game. That goes with anyone here who is registered. Shay Shay wants in, okay. You want in for your 10, Shay Shay? $10, okay. All right, I'll get you in for 10. Is there anyone else who wants to get in who is not presently in already? Please let me know that you do want in. Okay, I've got you, Shay Shay. Let's see. Raymond, I do not have you in this. Raymond, I do not have you in on this. Matthew says he'll do 10. Okay. Sissy, I'm going to send you an email right after I finish this show. I'll send you an email. Hello, Mr. Adams. Tyler, yes, you did get in. You are in. Raymond says he wants in. Do you want 10? Mr. Worley wants another 5. I'm sorry. I'm just reading things. I'm sorry. Okay. Raymond wants in for the max. Sand Digger. Let me check you. I think I've got you in here. Yes, you are in here. Sand Digger is in already. Let me go ahead and get the rest of these ready so we can get started. It is 8 o'clock. Now I know why I had so much trouble trying to find yours, Shay Shay. You are already in. So I had to add Sereg. Had to add Raymond. Mr. Worley for 5. And then Matthew G for 5. Oh, I'm sorry, for 10. Matthew G for 10. Matthew, because I don't have any stickers or anything ready for you, we are going to use blank blues for you. They're blank on both sides. And in fact, I can probably see what I can come up with here real quick. I don't have enough. I don't have enough printed stickers. So we're just going to do blanks for you. So there's 5 and there's 10. So we've got 10 for you. Here's Raymond Longy's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is 10. Mr. Worley, your additional 5 right there. Sissy, you are already in the game. You're already in this pool. Let's see. I will check on it after the show, Shay Shay. I did change my invoicing, and it could be that I've got the wrong email address recorded. It could also be that they're going into your spam folder. So one way or the other, we'll get it straightened out. Okay, $10 chips. I pull your name, then I pull a $10 chip. I pull your $10 chip, then I pull your name, and that's who gets it. Game chip. I pull the game chip, then I pull your name, and that is who gets to play the game, the high-low game. explain it again when we get there. And bonus chips. I draw a bonus chip, then I draw your name, and you get 2 coins instead of 1. There's all of that. Let me get that mixed up really well. We're nice and mixed. Last shot right now to get in. If you're not already in and you want in, this is your last shot. When I draw the first chip, the game has started. Nobody else can get in. Get my keyboard out of the way. Get my squishies ready. My squishies. These are my squishies. They're my foam things that I use to separate coins in boxes. My squishies. Alright. Here we go, boys and girls. Let's pull my first chip out of the bag. And it's going to go to Ted Evans. What is going on with my camera? Why isn't it current? Hang on a second. Something's going on with my dyno light. There we go. Okay. For some reason I wasn't getting live on that. But first coin out of the box. 1944D for Ted. 1944D for Ted Evans. And the game has begun. We're locked in with who we've got now. Second one, Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder gets, well, another 1944D. Happen to have 2 44Ds in the front. These are placed into the box completely at random. So, in telling who is where and what, kind of hard to tell. Alright, there's a bonus chip. Who gets the first bonus chip? Tim Krentz, who also just happens to have one of the very first double die copper coins stickers on his chip. And he gets a 57 Philadelphia. So that's for Tim Krentz. And the next one for Tim, a 44D. They don't seem to be mixed up all that well or something. They were completely put in at random, but that's what Tim Krentz gets. And let's see, next up. Well, we'll go back to Ted Evans. Ted, I've got brand new. I got brand new labels made for your chips. I just haven't gotten them out and gotten them put on your chips yet. So your worn out chips are soon going to get a refreshment. It's a 1957 Philadelphia. It's the next one in the box. Next up. Oh, got another bonus. That's 2 out of 4 bonuses out of here already. There's James Worley. James Worley picks up a 1952D and a 1958D. 58D and a 52D for Mr. Worley. All right. Who is next? Next up will be Jordan. Jordan picks up how about that? Another 44D. I don't know how that is happening. Let me get a couple of these and mix them up to the front. Mix these up a little bit better. There's no telling what was going to be where at any given time, anywhere, anytime. These are not at all stacked. The deck is not stacked. So here we go. Next up, Wanda. Wanda, how about a 1941D? 1941D. That's kind of a scarcity. Now we're getting into some goodies. Who we got next? Jordan again. We've got Jordan now with a 1948S. A 1948S. S. There we go. Now we're actually cooking with gas. There's Cap Morgan Dollar, 1951, Philadelphia. 1951, Philadelphia. Let's see, what do we have next? I've got 2 chips in my hand. Had to get rid of one of them. There's Mickey Fur. Mickey, I got new stickers for you, too. We'll get them out and get them on. Oh, how about that? A toner, 1939. 1939, Philadelphia, uncirculated, Lincoln cent. That's about a $10 item right there. All right, Tyler Lane comes up next. Tyler, how about a 1948 Philadelphia? Nice red 1948 Philadelphia for you. Now we're going to be drawing again. And Raymond Longy. How about a 49S? Really nice looking 1949S. All right, let me slide this whole works back a little bit. So I can get just a wee bit more comfy in my chair. I'm not really sure why we have a camera on nothing. There we go. There we go. Get ourselves a little better. A little bit of thrown into place here. Ted Evans. Ted Evans comes up with 1943D. 1943D uncirculated Steely. Next up, Paul Hampton 1945 S. 1945 S. Bring this down just a little bit more. Next up is Crispy. All right, there we go. Don't have to be able to see the whole chip, but you do want to see the whole coin. 1953 Philadelphia with some toning on it. 1953 Philly with toning. That's for Crispy. Median for the date's 1946. Always is. We go from 34 to 58, and this 46 is in the middle. Here's Raymond. Raymond now. 1956 Philly. Raymond with a 56 Philly. Next up, Sureg. 53D. 1953D. You guys can be playing the high-low game in your head while we're going through these. You get you prepared in case you're the one called. Jim Fletcher, 1943, Philadelphia. 43 Philly. Got a little bit of a Larry on that one. Still, it's a 43. Here we go with another bonus. And another bonus is this one's Sandigger. So Sandigger gets my next 2 coins. He gets a 1954S. There we go. 54S and a 1945 Philadelphia. 54S and a 45 Philadelphia for Sandigger. All right. No, I didn't get a new chair. Just I'm not doing a lot of rocking. I'm actually sitting pretty straightforward. Richard. There's our 45 Philadelphia for Richard. Next up, Paul Hampton. Paul, 1954 Philadelphia. Next up, Kimberly. Kimberly, how about 1951 Philadelphia? 1951 P. Josie Fletcher. Josie gets a 1950D. 1950D. Next up, Wanda. Wanda for a 1939. There we go. It's a nice red-brown uncirculated. Ted Evans. One of the most worn-out chips I have. We are going to change your chips up. 1941D. Think I'm joking? I've got it right here. I just haven't put them on. Looky here. There's Ted Evans new. There's Captain Morgan Dollar. I'm going to do new ones for him. There's Mickey. Mickey gets new ones. These are people that were handwritten in, like Josie here. She was handwritten. I put a flower on her. See that? Josie Fletcher with a flower. But you have to wait till I can get these done. Jordan comes up again. I see Jordan's covering over somebody else who I already had in there. So I need new stickers for him. 52D for Jordan. 52D there. Oops. Get his stuff put up here. Uno E Solo. There we go. That's right, Cap. No more handwriting on yours. You are a permanent member of the family now. Anthony Arashnia. Look at that double die. I need to redo his. I did him on already printed blanks, and then I printed his name over it, and I didn't erase the background, so he got duplicate printing. 1944, Philadelphia for Anthony. Oh, there's another bonus chip. That's all 4 bonus chips. Like in the first 15 minutes of the game. Oh, it's for Sissy. Sissy's bonus. She gets, there's 1946S and a 1948S. 2 S-Mint coins. Both of them S-Mints. Congrats. That's sweet. Mr. Adams. That 58 Philadelphia. It's a nice one, but it's a 58 Philadelphia. Don't always get real valuable coins. That's part of the gig here. Frostbite. It's a mixture of the good with the bad. 52S for Frostbite. Frosty got him a good one. Oh, it was a double struck. That's what it was. Jordan. Jordan, how about a 43D? 43D. Get himself a Steely. A Steely for a steal. $3.50 for a 43D in uncirculated condition. That's a $10 coin. I do have 43S's in here as well. Those are $15. $15 new. Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray comes up next. Is she going to get to see her first draw live in a while? How about a 56? 1956. You still here? I hope you're still here. Richard. Oops. Mr. Sappington. Now there's a 57 Philadelphia for Mr. Sappington. Next up. Hey, looky there. Blank, blank. Mr. G. Mr. G, get your first coin is a 1944 Denver. 1944D. That's the way that's done. Now you are broken in. Tyler. 53S. 53S. Ah, hello, Kelly Ray. I so wish I could be at the show this week. I'd love to be able to see ya. Oh, look at that. Richard Sappington gets a 43S. Uncirculated 1943S. Lincoln cent. That's kind of high dollar. Any of the S-Mints in the earlier 40s are kind of tough. There's Anthony, another double impression for Anthony. It's a double struck chip. 46D for Anthony. 46D there. Next up, Tyler. Again, Tyler. 56 Philly. for Tyler. We got a long ways to go. Ronald. Oh, you can't go either? Oh, it's a 41D for Ronald Magany. Oops. Here's one for Parvas. First coin for Parvas out of this pull. Well, it's a 1944D. I think everybody is required to get a 1944D out of this for some reason. I didn't put that many 44Ds in here. I must have just not got mixed in right. Hey, look at that. There's Mr. G again. Mr. G again, and he gets a 40D this time. 1940 Denver. Up next, Wanda. The instigator of the whole poker chip idea to begin with. 1953 Denver for Wanda. Got a couple of things to announce. One thing to announce is that we are going to be doing some pool games on Whatnot. And one of the pool games is going to involve rolls of wheat cents. 1948D there. You could win silver. You could win BU coins. You could win other nice stuff by purchasing rolls of wheat cents that come out of a box by your choosing. Malcolm, 1945, Philadelphia. Convincing the wife is the other the other half of the problem. Here's one for Jesse Minter. Come on. It's hard to grab right in the front of the box. 1957 Denver. 57D. Actually, I can solve that problem real fast. Let's put a stuffer here in the front. Make it so that my first coin is inside. Shay. There we go. That's why I couldn't find your chips. They were already in here. It's a 58D for Shay. Next up. She'll get over it. Right. Oh, you've gotten DDOs and RPMs from these pulls? It doesn't surprise me. I don't check them. Here's one for Sissy. One for Sissy, and Sissy gets a 1945. Philadelphia 1945P. That could be a double die obverse or reverse. They have both. Jordan again. Gets one of the few cardboard holders that's in here. Is a 1955 Philadelphia. 1955 Philly. And here's one for Ms. Josie. Got a 1953D. 1953D. Are my game chips going to be difficult to find like they were before? I think last time we got all the way down to the last box before we hit two of the games. 58D for Mickey. 1958D. We've got nickel pulls. We've got the nickel pulls are proof. All of them are proofs. We've got proof Lincoln cent pulls. We've got early singles pulls. 1956 for Paul. And then we've got the BU wheat pulls. Going to have a roll game where you come in, you purchase a roll. 56D for Jordan. You purchase a roll, and when you purchase a roll, that roll becomes yours. We open the end of the roll, and on the end of the roll, you could have a really nice coin. We're talking about BU Lincoln cents, earlier Lincoln cents. There's a penny hoarder again. We're talking about nice earlier Lincoln cents. We're talking about BU silver dimes. We're talking about rolls that are all uncirculated. We're also talking about the possibility that on the bottom of the roll, you might actually win more, like another roll. Malcolm, 1944D. There will be 100 rolls to start. And you'll be able to purchase the rolls directly from the Buy Now section of Whatnot. Wanda, and we will pull your roll. As soon as you're acknowledged from your buy now, you get to choose a number. Your number will be the number that will be pulled, 1 through 100. Here's Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray up now with another 1951 Philadelphia. 1951 Philadelphia for Kelly Ray. Let's see what else we have here. Frosty. Frostbite gets a 1945 Denver. 45D. Up next. I could save the game chips for you, Cap Morgan Dollar. Cap Morgan gets in on this one. 53S. Yeah, 53S. That's a nice 53S. Up next, Sand Digger again. Sand Digger. Ooh, nice red 1939. Nice red 1939 Philadelphia. Doug says bin the rolls. I think the way I'm going to do it, they're going to be $5 a roll. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a push of a winner in one of every 3 rolls. 1954D. Your big winners, there'll be 1, maybe 2 big winners. There'll be 3 or 4 smaller winners. And then there'll be a number of winners that are, $1 or 2 push over the value of what you paid for. It's going to be one of the floor ceiling type things. So it's kind of going to be like almost like a grab mystery bag type deal. There's Penny Hoarder again. Penny Hoarder with a 1956D, and this one's a pretty one. A lot of sparkle on that. There's Tim Crins again. UNC Morgan and Peace. Oh, the Unc Morgan and Peace dollars being released this week. Thoughts? I don't really care about anything the Mint's issuing these days. 1941. Yeah, the Chase stuff the Mint issues is not. It's not of importance to me. 1949. So we're going to do that. Probably. I don't know. Mickey, you here? 1953D for Penny Hoarder. There's Mickey. Ooh, Mickey gets a 43S. 43 San Francisco. That's a pretty one. What's next? Malcolm? 41 Philadelphia 41P. See who we got next. Kimberly. Kimberly with a 53S. 1953S. Are you going to be able to stay late this week? Are you going to come Thursday and stay late, or no, or what? Because if you're going to do it, I could go ahead and advertise the idea that we're going to be doing the game. We can get it ready Thursday. 43D for Raymond. Tyler Lane gets a 1952. It's a little spotty 52. Could be a double die, though. Okay, I'll go ahead and get a show scheduled. There's only one way for us to get into doing this. That's just to do it. 41S for Sissy. It's a 41S. What a coin. Those are $10 all day long. Sureg. Sureg up next with the 1947D. 47D uncirculated. So that's what we'll do. I'm going to go ahead and try getting the basics of it put together, and we'll run this Thursday on Whatnot. Sureg up next. Didn't Sureg just get a coin? Sureg did just get a coin. Sureg just gets another coin, 1944S. 44S. And next, oh, look at that. Somebody gets to play the game. Who gets to play the game? Let's go dig deep, way back the very far corner bag chip. Is Mr. Adams, you here? Mr. Adams? Oh, Mr. Adams, are you here? If Paul's not here, I'm going to be playing the game for him. The way I play the game, anytime I call with the statistics. The statistics are, if it's a 46 or above, I call lower. If it is a 45 or lower, I call higher. And that's the way it works. Mr. Adams, if you are here, we need your participation. Let's see here. Let me throw it back into live chat and find out if he's on the list. He doesn't show on the list as being here, so he may not be. Okay, I'll go ahead and play the game for him. So Mr. Adams' first coin is a 1952D. Naturally, because it's a 52D, I say lower. When I say lower, oh, it is lower, 36. 1936, I have to say higher. When I say higher, it is 1951. With 51, I say lower, and it is a 1951. Wins that one anyway. 51, I say lower again, and it is a 58. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins Mr. Adams won on the game there, and that is how the game is played. Well, he'll like that I got him the average anyway. I didn't bomb right away on him. Captain Morgendollar. 49S, 1949. Are we back in? Okay. We have an issue. All my stuff is locked up. I don't know if anybody can hear me. You can hear me, but you lost video. Okay. Sound is good, so you may refresh. Well, part of my problem anyway, is that my cameras are all stuck. I'm going to shut down my streaming here real quick, and we're going to try that. Well, yeah, I see that's up. Working on trying to get my camera back. We definitely have issues here. Let's see if I get anywhere with this. This isn't good. We have no camera looking at all of the stuff that I got going on here. I'm kind of used to this by now. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's just, we got to get something started here. Okay, let me restart the camera. Let me restart the phone. That could help. I don't know. Alright, I got the phone restarting. Can you guys still hear me? And you can still see that camera. I got my phone camera restarting. So let's see if we get back here. Okay, so you guys still hear me. You can still see my camera. I just saw that. So I'm waiting for my phone to restart here. See if I actually get phonology here. That is a new word. I made that one up myself. As soon as I can get anywhere with this, we'll get started again. Phone is currently restarting. I have a start screen. And DroidCam OBS starting. Wi-Fi connection, good. And here we go. We now have camera. What is going on with you? Focus, I said. Huh. Here we go. All right, so we're back. We're back. Back. All right, here we go. Ronald Magany. First out. Second take. Take two. Here we go. 55S. Oh, a beautiful toner. I don't know if you can see the colors on that, but man, it's beautiful. That's beautimous. There, you can see the colors on it. You just can't see any details. I don't like Dynalite. I thought I did, but I don't. It does not show color well on coins. Not at all. I'm getting used to this now. Now I think you've got sound. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. It could be my computer. I kind of doubt it is, but it could be my computer. Let's see here. Let me get my... Something's definitely not good. Something is definitely not good. Error getting my camera configuration. Well, this is kind of weird. Yeah, I guess you don't need to see that part. I don't know. I'm going to have to... We're going to end up needing a computer rebuild, Eric, if you're here. All right. So there it is. Richard gets a 47D. Let's go ahead and do this. There we go. We can just do it this way. Let's do it this way. Here we go. Mr. Adams, Paul, gets a 1950S. 1950 San Francisco. Next up, Malcolm. Malcolm for a 1957D. I got all kinds of ideas up my sleeve. All right, Parvas. You don't need to see that other part anyway. You guys know I'm dragging out of a bag and just dragging off the next. That was the whole point, having that other camera, was so that you guys could be sure that I was being honest with you. But shit, anybody doesn't understand honesty at this point. Hell, I've been doing it for a long time now. Oh, wow, that's a pretty one. Pretty 1940 for Josie. Josie, congratulations, young lady. You got yourself a nice looking one. All right, Taco John. Taco John and a 1954S for Taco John. It's a pretty coin. All right, here we go. Well, hello, Steven. I haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. You've been lurking at my shows and just not saying anything? Is that what's been going on with you? 45D for Kelly Michaud. Our Canadian friend, who is probably out fishing right now. Shay Shay. He does fishing as a guide. That's his job. 47S. So, anytime you think about the BC coast and British Columbia and that area up there, and the waterways and stuff, Kelly's out there somewhere. Stone Cutter. Stone Cutter. 1944D. Well, I appreciate that, Matthew. I have earned trust with the people who do trust me over the number of years I've been doing this sort of thing. Here's Frosty. Frosty up next. 1955D. That's why I believe you and I together can collectively kick the ass of the Whatnot community and the people out there in Whatnot who are basically fleecing the sheep. I cannot believe the number of people who run games that are without a doubt rigged. You know, I'm going to get on Whatnot and run some games, and my games are going to be good ones. They're going to be ones where everybody actually comes out feeling like they've done something good and they've come out ahead. So, there we go. I am not afraid to speak my mind. 1944 Philadelphia for Mickey. I get tired of seeing where people are being taken advantage of. Anthony and his double die chip. He won't have those for very long. 1946 Philadelphia. Yeah, there's plenty of fleecers on YouTube as well. Sissy. 1952D. You guys tell me, how many times have you seen other people say, let's do it this way. I want to sell this to you for cheaper than you're willing to buy it for because, well, it's only worth that. How many times do you see other people doing that? Sand Digger comes up next. 1957 Philadelphia for Sand Digger. Yeah, I don't... Ooh, looky there. There's Mr. G again. Mr. G, Mr. Blank. Mr. Blank... Oh, boy, looky there. Mr. Blank gets him a 1936. Nice 1936 BU Lincoln cent. That's a $10 item if it's $1. So you got yourself a good one there. Sureg. Sureg up next, and Sureg will get this one. What is that? That's a 51. 51 Denver. Got some toning to it, too. Two. All right, here we go, Raymond. I got a little bit of a fix. Hopefully the fix holds. I think it has to do with my phone camera, the 45 for Raymond. Because the phone camera is the one that tends to give me the most fits most of the time. Here's Mr. Fur. Mickey, 1953, Philadelphia. 1953 Philadelphia with just a little bit of that, see that doubling on the outside edge of the 3? That's the same thing that happened to 1955. It's a poor man's double. Here we go. Ronald gets a 1956D for Ronald Magany. None of these coins have been checked over for double dies, repunchment marks, any of that kind of thing. Where do I make my money, or is this only a labor of love? Well, the real deal on this, and I like to be very transparent. Okay, this is a 1947 Philadelphia Lincoln cent that I purchased in a roll, and the roll cost me probably, I'm going to say $100 for the roll. This isn't a great example because it was a $100 roll, but still, you get 50 coins in a $100 roll. That's $2 a coin. These are $3.50 a piece. Does that answer your question? So I'm actually making a little bit of money on this coin. The 57, 58s, 56, 57, 58 coins that are in here, generally I pay around 30 to 40 cents a piece for 57, 58 Lincoln cents. And the ones that are in here are going to be coming to me at a profit because you're paying about $3 more than I paid for them. But there are other coins in here I paid $10, $15, $20 a piece for that you're getting for $3.50. That's just part of how it works. Win some, you lose some. Josie, 1944D. That's a pretty one. 1944D for Josie. It's for every $1,000 I collect on this, I make about $400, and the rest of it goes right back into the cost of it. And I've got to do this at least twice a month, or I don't make enough money to pay my bills. So there's a 1943 for Mr. Fletcher. So it's a you win, I win, everybody wins. It's an idea that was kind of my birth child. I figured, well, what can I do to sell through some inventory and get it to people at a price that makes it cheap on them, but at the same time wins me a little bit of profit. So there's a 1940D for Wanda. Some of these coins are better than others. Some of them are really nice. Here's Shay Shay. 1949 Philadelphia. 49 Philly rolls, 110. Say 100. They're about $120 a roll right now. So $120 a roll. I paid $3 a coin. No, that'd be $150. Well, you understand. $2.70 a coin. But I charge you $3.50 for them. That's why you get charged $3.50 for these, because it's a good price point. Most of the coins are worth more than that. So here's a 1951D. It's a pretty nice 1951D. I paid probably $40 for that roll. That's about 90 cents for the coin. But the coin, if you look the coins up in MS64 red like this, they're going to be worth $3. So you got a $3 value in the coin anyway. So that's the truth. That's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. Here's Ronald, 1957D. So that particular pull right there was almost all profit. Raymond. And I do mix in a lot of really good ones with the ones that aren't so good. There's a 52. That was turning a little bit brown, but it's still a nice coin. That's for Raymond Lungy. Shay Shay up next. Shay Shay. 53 Denver. Nice red 53 Denver. Frosty the Snowman. Frosty's the Coin Man. 1949D. Frosty the Coin Man. I've got to come up with a song for that. A full song that uses the tune. Kelly? Kelly, Mr. Michaud. Wait a minute. That went in there like that, behind there. And I need a new box. I'm drawing from over here. Kelly gets a 41 Philadelphia with a big loop right on the front. That's a loop. That's a loop just like mine, but it's not mine. That is not mine, but it's a loop all the same. We have arches, loops, and whirls. Those are the three types. We also have a detached loop, which is very uncommon. Oh, who gets this 41 Philadelphia? Let's see. Malcolm. Malcolm gets it. Yeah, the roll reveals, that's one of those things. The roll reveals, I never know. You never know. Nobody ever knows until we dig in. And it's designed that way. I don't want to know what's in the rolls. When I find a really nice die variety in a roll, trust me, folks, I'm seeing it for the first time just like you are. That's no joke. All right. Up next. Had a Lincoln roll for your nose. There we go. Something like that, right? Jesse, 1941. 41 for Mr. Minta. And now, Wanda. I'm trying to come up with more fun stuff for us to do. Wanda also gets a 41. 41's an early year. 41's a nice year. 41's a tough year. Ronald, you need new stickers too. Another 41. What is going on here? I don't know how this happened. There's like a whole stack of 41 plain here. Let me get these out of here. That way we will start getting some other stuff in here. Here's Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray now with the next one. 58D for Kelly Ray. Up next, Stonecutter. 1940 Denver. 1940D. It is a gamble, but you know, like if you get to play the game, I mean, heck, Cat Morgendollar walked away from here with 12 coins one time. Even if it cost me an average of $1 a coin, I still cost out $12 on a $3.50 pull. It's just the way it works. $10. Who gets the first $10? Sissy. Sissy gets the first $10, and her coin is a 53D. Congrats to Sissy. Let me get that written on a sticky note. Where am I? Here we are. $10 pull for a Sissy. There's no such thing as a win if you don't get something out of it, and once in a while somebody gets way more than what they paid for. I mean, that's what makes it so interesting. Stonecutter up next. 56D for Stonecutter. Sand Digger, yes, I did. However, it may or may not have reflected in your invoice. If it did not, I'll make sure it reflects in the next one. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, 1945. Denver, 1945D. Up next, Penny Hoarder. Mr. Penny Hoarder gets a 1941. Philadelphia, 41 Philly. All right, up next, Jesse. Ooh, Jesse gets a 43S. 1943S. Steel scent. Heavily magnetic. The only year we made magnetic coins. And the only year we made coins out of steel, which is a horrible metal to be making coins out of if you're using steel dies. Why would you want to use steel dies to mint steel coins? You're talking about two metals of nearly equal hardness. That was a 41 Philly for Sissy. Next up, ooh, look at that. Somebody gets to play the game. Let me dig and see who it is. Sureg, you here? I think we have someone who is present. Sureg, are you here? My voice can lull you into rest and relaxation. That's exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want to have people sleeping on me. They need to be awake. Sureg is present. All right. Let's see where we're going to go with this. We've got a 1944. Ooh, yuck. No, we've got a 44 to start. How did that get in there? Nah, you'll get this one free anyway. You get a 44 to start. You want to do higher or lower? Closest to the actual retail price without going over. 17 for 17, Sureg. Carl has your back. Sureg says higher. And, ooh, 57. It is higher. Sureg next. 1957, higher or lower? Lower, he says. And it's a 57. He still wins. All right, here you go. 57, higher or lower? If you would for me, please type in the date, just the 2-year digit, 57. Just okay, so you said lower. Next time, you would say for this, it would be 57 lower. Okay, so here is 1940. It is lower. So now say 40, higher or lower. That way I'll be able to keep up with you. We'll be able to keep up with each other. We'll know exactly who's saying what and doing what. So in 1940, and he says higher. 1940 higher. Oh, would you look at that? It's a 41. All right, 41. We're doing higher or lower than 41? Higher, Sureg says, and it's a 58. Well, how much easier could this get? Of course he says lower. 58's the highest there can be, and it is lower. It's a 41 again. All right, so we've got 41. You're doing it again, Sureg, exactly the same. Is it going to be a 41 higher or a 41 lower? Cat Morgendollar, your record is halfway toast. 41 higher, he says, and it is 56. 1956, they couldn't be mixed up better than this for you. 56, higher or lower? $56 lower, he says. And, oh man, can you believe this? 1940. 1940 higher or lower? You're going to need a bucket for your coins, Sureg. A little baggie probably won't do it. Oh my, look at this. 40, we go to 41. So at 41, higher or lower? $41 higher, and it is. It's a 43. 43 Denver, 43 higher or lower? I kind of know where he's going with this. 43 higher or lower? $43 higher, and it is 54. 54 higher or lower? Welcome everyone to the Sureg Show. $54, he's going to say lower, and it is. It's a 41S. That is a large S as well. So that is a scarcity right there. 41S, large S. So 41 higher or lower? $41 higher, straight out of the box, we're going to see 56. 56D. It is higher, so with 56 higher or lower. Lower, and his next coin is a 42. Boy, we're zigzagging all over the place here. Perfect for the game. 4, 8, 12, 14 coins. This is 15 coins so far. He's got the record. 42 higher, he says. And it's a 53. 53 San Francisco. This is just how the meat falls in. 53 higher or lower. Sir, I'll give him my address. You just back up and open the trunk. All right, 53. He says lower. And we have a 44. That's going to be a little bit tougher. A 44, higher or lower. Can we? I think I'm back. And we're going to get this Dynalite working again. Okay. We're back. I have no idea what's going on with my connection tonight. I'm going to have to do a full redux on this. All right, so he said what? 44. He said higher. And it's a 40S. But guess what, Sireg? You get this coin too, and it's a 40S, and it's a beautiful woody. So Sireg ends up with, good God, this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 coins. He got 17 right. Ended up with 18 coins. So he actually got 17 for 18. And Carl said about 15 minutes ago, go 17 for 17. I don't know how he did that. But he got that number straight on. Right on the money. Sireg, these are going to be in their own bag. Let's see. Get these placed in here. I've never had to give anyone half a box of coins before like this. I'm excited. I'm not hurt in the least. Congratulations to you. This is exactly why we do what we do here. All right, up next, Jesse. Jesse gets a toned 1939. Jesse Mitter with a tone. 1939 Lincoln cent. That would have been a kicker for you. You get a 1940 and you call higher and you get a 1939. Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley up with a 1944D. 44D. As I got this whole section in the box here, it doesn't have any poker chips in it. It just looks weird. Kelly Michaud, Mr. Michaud gets a 4040. Let me get this out of the way here. There we go. There it is. 44D. Nice clean looking one. Pretty one. Carl, you remind me of Babe Ruth pointing over the fence in center field. I don't know how you did that. 17 for 17, right? Taco John wants you to give him the Powerball numbers now. Sireg. Well, Sireg comes up with a 44D. How I did so well at mixing this stuff up and still got a bunch of duplication. Taco John. Well, Taco John with a 56D. Anthony. Anthony with a 1944D. Now Shay Shay. Shay Shay with a 1955D. Now Parviz. Parviz gets a 44D. Everybody gets a 44D. 44Ds are actually really nice because there's a bunch of different repunch mint marks with them. Here's Doug. One for Doug, and Doug gets a 1941D. 41D for Doug. Next, Anthony again. Gets a 45D this time, 45D. Now, Tyler. I got way too many 44Ds in here. What is going on with this? Let me grab some of these and pull them out of here. It's like a whole cluster of 44D. I don't even know how that happened. Okay. Tyler now. 1952, Philadelphia. 52 Philly for Tyler. Next up, Crispy. Crispy, 45 Philadelphia. 45 Philly. Penny Hoarder. Oh, Penny Hoarder got a 1940D. 1940D. Next up, $10. Who gets $10? It's Carl. Carl gets $10. Congratulations, Carl. And your coin? Well, of course, a 44D. I don't know why that's happening, but it is. Next up, Stone Cutter. 57D for Stone Cutter. Next up, Richard. 43 Philadelphia. 43 Philly for Richard. Next, Cat Morgendollar. You got something to beat now, don't you? Got a 57 Philly here. Next up, Kelly Michaud. 58 Philly for Kelly. Mr. Adams. Woohoo. Mr. Adams. 1939. Got 1939, some nice toning on it. There we go, 1939 Philadelphia. Still making room. Raymond Longy gets a 1945D. 45D. Okay. Let's see. What do we do next? Oh, Matthew. You still around, Matthew? I haven't seen you in a little while. Let's see what Matthew gets. Yeah, looks like a 44D. 44D for Matthew. I think I took one of my mix-in boxes and thought it was already mixed. It may have not been, so I'll floor sort all this after the show. Yeah, I just pulled out 7 in a row that were 44D. Let me clean this box up just a little bit. Just trying to get a bunch of the extraordinary duplication out. I don't really have a lot. That was about it. The last little bunch of 44D. Anybody who got an extra 44D, I'm going to toss another coin in for you. Josie Fletcher. Josie will get. There's a 57D. Drop a couple 36s in. All right, hang on. Let's add some spice to the game. There's a 36. There's another 36. There's another 36. I'm going to stick these in the box randomly so they'll come up in the next 20 minutes or so. There we go. They're in there. Okay. Next up. Cat Morgan dollar. Cat Morgan dollar with a 58D. I told you, folks, I'm crazy as a lunatic. Look at here. Matthew, what do you get this time? Yeah, it's not the prettiest. It's a 53D. Got a 53D this time. Penny Hoarder. There's a 58 Philadelphia. 58 Philly. I've got a bunch of stuff from the 30s and 40s to add into the pot. Basically, this is a rolling stock. And every time I get a few rolls in, I'll toss a roll or two into it. And I try to make everything about as equal as I can so that there's equal early dates to later dates. There's a 44 for Jesse. I try to keep it all interesting. There's Raymond. Mr. Lungy. 1941. There are actually 30, I think there's a couple of 35S's, 35D. There's some 36S in it. But there's only about 2 or 3 for 1,000 coins. So they're not very common, but they're in here. That must have $20, $25 coins. They're not easy to let go of like that. Stone Cutter. 40D for Stone Cutter. Crispy up next. And Crispy. 41D for Crispy. I know it's like within the next 5 or 10 coins we're going to run into the first 36 I just dumped in there. The next 5 or 10 coins. Well, here we go for Matthew. And Matthew gets a 42 Philadelphia. 42 Philly. That is not bad at all. Who's up next? Raymond? Mr. Longy, does he get the 36? No, he gets a 56D. 56D. Next up, how about Jordan? Jordan, young man, oh, he does. He gets the 36 I just dumped in there. Jordan gets a 36. Oh, $10 coin there for you. Congratulations, young man. Jesse. Jesse up next gets a 1956 There's still all the original 36s and 37s and 38s and stuff that I put in here, so those 36s were just extras. Mr. Worley. Back to a 44D. Like I said, if you got extras, you got 44Ds in there. I'm going to throw some extra coins in for you. Shay. I'm also getting to a point where I'm starting to throw freebies in people's packages for no good reason at all. Here's another 36. It's one for Shay. This is one that was already in the box. So that wasn't an extra. That was one that was already in there. Here we come back to Jesse. What does Jesse get? There's a 41S for Jesse. 41S, large S. That is of some value. Having the large S there like that. Taco John. What does Taco John get? I think it's a 57D. Kind of a slightly unfortunate turn of events there. Let's see. 57D isn't the pretty coin that it could be. Frosty. 57 Philly. Pretty decent looking, but it's a 57 Philly. How much can you expect out of a 57 Philly? Let's see here. And get some space opened up in my box. There we go. Now I got enough room to breathe. Miss Fletcher? Josie? Jim, is her name actually Fletcher? I got to thinking that if her mother is your daughter, then her name wouldn't be Fletcher. 1956. I just assumed because she was your granddaughter that her name was Fletcher. But if her name's not Fletcher, you could give me the proper initial and I will change the labels to say such. Taco? Maybe I'd just call her Josie. I don't know how many Josies I know. Taco gets a 48D. Little spotty. Could I add a 09S VDB for your freebie? We'll have to look into that. See what happens. Mickey? 48D. I'm telling you now, Kelly, don't hold your breath. Miss Jewel. I am crazy. I'm not stupid. Sissy? Ooh. Well, I am crazy. There's a 43S. A nice 43S in there for Sissy. Parvez. Parvez now with a 1955S and a nice toner. Nicely toned, pretty little coin there. Mr. Worley up next. Mr. Worley with a 1951D. 51D. We may need counseling. I don't know. Son's daughter. Okay, cool. I'm glad my assumption worked out right. Jordan, 1950. 1950. I saw the pictures of her with you. You make one heck of a grandfather, I'm sure. It just looks at it. It looks like it. It's in her eyes. She just loves you. Tyler, 1957. For Tyler. Now Carl. Carl, the 57D. Never can blame a girl for trying, that's for sure. Bat those eyes at me again. Here's Kelly Ray. What do you know? Kelly Ray pops in. 1955S. 55S for Kelly Ray. Might as well ask for a 55 DDO. Heck, why not? 1877 Indian. I mean, there's all kinds of things we could wish for. Paul? Could you imagine the ratings if I said there was an 1877 Indian in this? Uh-oh. Somebody gets to play the game. Who gets to play the game? Frosty. Frosty, you around, brother? Let's get Frosty's first coin out here and see what happens. 1952D, Frosty. I just say 52 and higher or 52 and lower. Is Frosty here? You take a 09S Indian. Okay, 52 Denver. So give me a 52 and a higher or a 52 and a lower. 52 lower, and it is 1940. 1940. So now 1940 higher or 1940 lower. We're going to be doing this as its own game. There'll be a $20 entry fee. You play until you lose. She was on the ANA website with her tablet. Okay, we got 40. And what did he say? 40? Higher. 40 higher, he gets a 54. So now 54. Higher or lower? What do you guys say? Is this worth 50? Is this worth a $20 bill to play? Just this and this alone? Come and take your chance. A 6 out of 6, he says. Frosty, he's not laying nearly as much clout on you as he did on Sureg. He said 17 out of 17. Now he's at 6 out of 6. I think he's going safe. You have to prove him wrong. A 54, and he goes lower. A 54 and lower, and it is a 1943. A 1943, and with a 43, we're going to go higher or lower. This is a 43S, by the way. It's not the prettiest looking coin, but a 43S is a tough one. 43 higher, 43 lower. Don't listen to Carl, right? We're almost up to where he said you would go before you'd poop out. So to 43. From 43, we're going to go higher, and it is 1956. 1956, we're going to go higher or lower? 56 higher or 56 lower? I'm not frozen. I am waiting for Frosty. $56 lower. He says 56 lower, and it is a 58. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Look at this. I don't even know how you did this, Carl. He's got 6 coins. The 58, the 56, the 43, the 54, the 40, and the 52. I got no idea how you do it, Carl. It's kind of spooky. 2 for 2 on that, Carl. Let's see, we got a bunch of people left in here. A bunch of. Malcolm? Woohoo! Malcolm gets another one of those 36Ps that I tossed in. This was one of the extra ones. I recognize it by the fingerprint on it. All right. He says, sorry, Frostbite. He calls the shots like they are. Paul? 45, Denver. A 45D for Paul. Next up, Cap Morgan Dollar. Cap Morgan Dollar now gets a 1955S. 1955S. So what do you guys think? If anybody who wanted to play the game as the pool, it would be a special show that we would do only once in a while. But it would be where we actually all get together just to watch people play the game who've paid $20 entry fee to play the game. That'd be something you'd be interested in? Kelly Ray now. Kelly Ray gets a 43D. That's a pretty one. Nice looking 43D. She's got herself another magnet. like a hand of blackjack. That's pretty much right. Put your $20 in, and heck, Sureg comes out 3 times ahead. 56D for Frosty there. Okay, well, we'll give that a shot and see how that works. That would probably be a much shorter than 2-hour-long show. Penny Hoarder gets a 39. 1939 pretty red coin. 1939 there. Nice winner. Next up, Mr. Krenz. Mr. Tim. 53S for Tim. Next up, Carl. Carl? 1941, Philadelphia. I bet you hate that dandruff commercial, don't you? What? I don't even know there was a commercial on TV and it has something to do with shampoo for dandruff. And the guy's name was Carl. Carl! 41S. Is that a large S? It is a large S. It's a 41S large S, which is actually less common than the small S. Sand Digger this time. Sand Digger gets a 36. This is turning out to be a little stretch of really good stuff that ended with Shay Shay. 1944 Philadelphia there. The problem with putting in the few teens and 20s and stuff is that it kind of screws up the numbers. I want something that is statistically logical to play. And if I were to run across a 1934 and then you said higher because 34 is the lowest year possible and then you got a 1910, that kind of took you off. Of course, you'd win the 1910, but it's not really the point. Here's for Carl again. Carl gets a 43 Philadelphia this time. Nice, pretty one. Let's see. Up next, Stonecutter. Stonecutter, 1953S. 53S for Stonecutter. Next up, Frosty. Frosty, 1942, Philadelphia. 42 Philly. Next now, Sureg. 53D. You know, I could do that. I could put together like a $10 or $20 gift bag for the person who got the most and the person who got the least. Richard? Well, how about a 36? There's a bunch of them in here. Lots of them. Lots of them. What's going on there? There's only supposed to be about 5 of those per pull, and I think we've done 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. What's up next? Taco John. Taco John and his new sticker. 43 plain. For Taco. Expand on that, Sand Digger. You would do $20 to do shield sense? Maybe if I was throwing extras in. 40S. Are they? I did not know that. Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley up next gets a 1940 Philadelphia. 1940 Philly. A lot of these things, a lot of these coins are $10 plus. Ted? All right, there's one that's not. It's a 52D for Ted. Tyler? Oh, 44D for Tyler. I'll get you a better one. A prettier 44D. There we go. Pool. Pullhampton. It's a 58D. Little spotty. Well, back to Tyler. Tyler now, 45, Philly. 45, Philadelphia. Next up, well, Carl. Carl's back again with a 41S, and it is a small S this time. Yeah, how many 17s do you need, Sandigger? I've probably got a box of rolls. Do you want me to put some rolls up next time? Mr. Fletcher. 1941, Philadelphia. Shay. Oh, well, the S mints are all, there. You don't get those in change, brother. Those are only proof coins. Shay is 53S. Maybe that's why you're not finding them. You don't find those in change. Those are only proof coins. Mr. Adams, 45D. Mr. Furr gets a 41D. Up next, Mr. Furr again. How about that? Well, this time gets a 44D. 44D. Who's up next? Stone Cutter. 53S. Stone Cutter. Still no 20. I don't have any 23s. I've never seen a 23 in person. Never. It's, good gosh, July, and I've still never seen a 23. Crispy? Woohoo! Here we go. 1938S. 1938S for Crispy. That's a win. Big win. And we got a blank chip. Guess what that means? Matthew G. How about that? You can't get luckier. You've got two of those now. At least two of them. Let's see what we got next here. Tim? Yeah, there's a 58D. What we got left in this? Oh, man. We've got 100 chips left in this bag, at least. Mr. Michaud. There's a 54S. Back to Mr. Krenz again. Gets a 48, Philadelphia. 48 Philly this time. Carl. Carl back to Carl. What does Carl get? 1954. 54 for Carl. And next up, Sandigger. And Sandigger gets 1953S for Sandigger. What is that? Sandigger just came up again here. He gets a 51 Philadelphia. 51 Philly. Oop. Somebody gets $10. Who would somebody be? Somebody would be Mr. Adams. And Mr. Adams gets a coin too. Mr. Adams' coin is a 1942. Congratulations to Mr. Adams. Let me write his name down to be sure to give him his $10 gift credit. Alrighty. That's 3. I think that's how many I put in there. 3. Alright, Kelly Michaud. 1947S for Kelly. 47S. Little sans serif mint mark there. Ronald. Ronald needs new labels. 50S. 1950. San Francisco. After Ronald, we have Carl. Carl with a 1952D. 52D for Carl. Alright, that's it for that box. Let me move on to another box. Get another box in here, so I have room to play. All right, here we go. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm gets 57D. Malcolm. Shay Shay. Up next, Shay Shay gets a 54D. 54D for Shay Shay. Next, Taco John. 54 Philadelphia for Taco John. Next up, Ronald. Ronald with a 56D. 1956D. And next, Raymond. Actually, 53S. Oh, I was saying 43S. Oop, there we go. For Raymond. Next up will be Mr. Fletcher. 54D for Mr. Fletcher. Next up, Anthony. Another one of his woefully doubled flips. Flip. What did I say that for? 57D for Anthony. Label. Not flip. Label. Let me get some of these moved over to the other side. Make it a little easier to navigate this box. It's part of what's causing my little lisping English here. There we go. Next up, Mickey. Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur gets 44D. 44D for Mickey. And Carl. Carl up next at 58. Now, Taco John. Taco John gets a 1952. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Sand Digger. 43D. 43D for Sand Digger. Next up, Taco John again. It's a 58 Philadelphia. Let's see who's next. Anthony. Anthony back up again. Gets a 45D. 1945D. We have Wanda. Wanda gets a 1956. Richard. 57. 57 Philly. Ronald. Ronald gets a 54S. Tim Krenz. Tim gets a 39, 1939. That's a good one. 1939, folks. Penny Hoarder up next. There's a 43D for him. Penny Hoarder, 43D. Next will be Ted Evans. Ted gets a 44D. 44D for Ted. Tim. Back to Tim again. 43 Philadelphia. 43 Philly for Tim. Captain. Cap Morgan Dollar. How about a 56D? It's a nice one. If that's one of the die varieties, it'd be a really nice one. Let's see here. What are the odds that one person would put 2 of the bonus chips in one session? Did he get 2 of the bonus chips? Huh. Given that there's 4 bonus chips, there's probably about 30 people involved with 10 chips apiece on average. We're talking about 300 chips. We're talking about 4 out of 300. So whoever can do those odds, 4 out of 300. And then you'd have to actually get 2 of 4. So 1 of 2 out of 300. 1945 for Crispy. I don't math really well. I ain't good at ciphering. Oh, he got a game? He got the game and a $10? Okay. That's even better than getting a couple of bonuses, isn't it? Holy moly. Cap Morgan Dollar, 46D. 1946 Denver. Well, in this particular one, I had 3 $10. I had 4 games. I had 4 bonus. Anthony. 44D for Anthony. Frostbite. So altogether, there are 11 black chips in this game. 11 black chips and 30. Even if there was 33 people, your chance would be 1 in 11. 58D. That was for Frosty. Now up. Paul. Paul gets a 1952S. Pretty 1952S. Those things are over $250 a roll. So that's a nice pull right there. Stone Cutter. Well, looky there. Stone Cutter gets a 1936. How many 36s are you going to see? I'm planning on all coming out in one game. Shay Shay gets a 43D. Yeah, it's a little sputty, but it's there. You'll take what's behind door number 3. I'll give you $100, but you can have what's behind door number 3. If you take what's behind door number 3, it'll cost you $60. You want it? Yeah. Oh. It's Mother Smith's goat. You want a goat. Wonk, wonk. All right, there's one for Mr. Worley. And Mr. Worley gets 41D. Nice 41D for Mr. Worley. Who we got here? Josie? Josie gets a 1940 Philadelphia 40p. The 20-foot rocking chair. I'd say, oh, sure, I'll take it. That would ruin that prop. They wouldn't be able to use it again. It'd be mine. Well, they gave it to me, didn't they? Doug? 4040 for Doug. Up next. Who gets to play the game? The game. Somebody gets to play the game. I'm going all the way to the very back. Going all the way to the very back, and it is Malcolm. Malcolm, we know Malcolm's here. He just said 20-foot rocking chair. So, Malcolm, this is your game, Malcolm. You ready? We start with 1956. Start with 56. 56 higher or 56 lower? Lower. 56 lower. It is 1940 San Francisco. 40 San Francisco. Higher or lower? 40. Higher or lower? And Malcolm puts on his thinking cap and says higher. And it is. It's a 44. So now you got 44 higher or lower than 44. Says higher, and it's a 57. 57 now, higher or lower? $57 says lower, and it turns out to be a 48. Now you really have to think. 48's going to be higher, or is it going to be lower? 48, higher or lower? This is one of those ones that'll toss you into the stratosphere. Do we know? Is it higher, or is it lower? Does Malcolm say lower? He says, and it is 52. So that's it for Malcolm. That's 6 coins for Malcolm. You notice who was really quiet? Exactly. Carl was really quiet this time. Carl said nothing. He's like, I want to leave a legend. I don't want a chance being mortal. All right. Congratulations to Malcolm. Here is one for Richard. Richard gets the next coin, which would be 1954, Philadelphia. 1954. Crispy. 1941, Philadelphia for Crispy. 41, Philly. Next up, Ted. 43, San Francisco for Ted. 43S. Up next, Sureg gets a 41D. 41D. Nice, nice. Next up, Jesse. 56, Philly for Jesse. 56. Ted, back to Ted. And his worn out flips. Has a 1952D. 52D for Ted. Next up, Miss Kelly Ray. 1946D. 46D for Kelly Ray. Let's see what's up next. Wanda. Wanda gets 1947. 47 Philadelphia. Let's see, we're down to about 40 chips, 30 to 40 chips. We'll finish this out. Sand Digger, 1952 Philadelphia for Sand Digger. And back to Ted again. Ted this time, 1958. And up next, Crispy. 44. Of course, gravy on French fries is fine. That was for Crispy. Gravy on French fries. I also like mustard with my French fries. One thing I don't like with French fries, ketchup. I don't like ketchup at all. Jordan, 54S. You know, it's really strange that a lot of people who have a penchant for mustard don't like ketchup. And a lot of people who like ketchup don't like mustard. My wife and I are polar opposites on that. She likes ketchup and does not like mustard. There's a 41D for Mr. Adams. It's a pretty one. Yeah, but up north, that's a normal thing. Cat Morgendollar. Cat Morgendollar gets a 37 Philadelphia. Nice woody. Nice toned woody. That's a pretty coin. Really pretty. Tabasco is good. I don't do white gravy, so I wouldn't get a whole lot out of it. Crispy. A 51D. 51D for Mr. Crispy. Now Jordan. How about a 53S for Jordan? 53S. Yeah, I'm just not a white gravy person. I wish I could, but I don't. Parviz up next with a 1949 Denver. 49D. Kelly Ray, Miss Malt Vinegar, 1945, Philadelphia, 1945. I used to eat malt vinegar on my Long John Silver's back when we used to go to Long John Silver's when I was a kid. Mr. Worley, 1953S for Mr. Worley. First time I ever had fish with malt vinegar on it, I can remember. It was in May of 1974. Hey, looky there. Empty chip. And empty chip would be for Matt, and Matt gets a 1940. 1940 Philadelphia for Matt. I remember it was May 1974 because we were in Xenia, Ohio, visiting family who had survived the big tornado there in April. We went there the next month in May. And I remember there being a lot of damage in and around the area where the Long John Silver's was, and we went in and ate at the Long John Silver's because it was open. 53D for Jim Fletcher. It had not been damaged in the storm, and it was just down the block from buildings that were. Parviz. So yes, I can remember 1974. Not well, but I can remember it. How about a 55D for Parviz? 55D. All right, what's up next here? Get these straightened up a little bit. There we go. It's not even storming, and my dog is underneath me. My dog loves me today. Usually he's only under me when it's storming or when there's a problem. We're going to do, in the coin cards, we're going to do Sherman signature cards. The 55S Woody. Pretty one, too. That's for Ted. Crispy back again. And Crispy this time gets a 1947. Philadelphia 47 Philly. Next up, Mickey Fur. Mickey Fur gets a 1944 S. That's a pretty one. 44S. Next up, Anthony Areshnia. It's a 1955 S, 55S for Anthony. Richard. Up next, Richard. Well, he also gets a 55S. I remember some weird stuff. Like visiting family in Ohio after a tornado. How was that, 49 years ago? There you go. Mr. Adams, 1951. I can't tell you what brand of coffee I had this morning. Probably McCafe. I like the McCafe pods. They're pretty good. Tim Krenz. Tim Krenz gets a 1951D. 1951D. Burnt the hair off your tongue. Well, that'll make you a man. Parviz, 1953 Philadelphia. Miss Fletcher, 1956 Philly. When am I going to do a roll dig on a 44S? You mean a roll reveal on a 44S? I probably set one up for next week. Probably have a 44S around here I can use. Anthony? Well, what do you know? Another 36. It's got a Larry on it, but it's a 36. Okay, the dog is up here again. Oh, blank chip. That would be Matthew. Matthew gets a 1942 Philadelphia. Nice 1942 Philly. Kelly Ray up next. Kelly Ray is going to get a 1940S. 1940S for Miss Kelly Ray. Next up, well, Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud picks up a 1953 Philadelphia. 53 Philly. Oh, Sherm Dizzle. They're all saying hi for you out here. Ronald. 58 Philly for Ronald. Yeah, you want me to do a reveal on a 44S roll? I'll dig a 44S roll out and put it together for next week. Raymond. Raymond gets a 1940. Philadelphia, 1940. Did one coin roll hunt roll dig number 11 BU mixed 44S wheat cent roll? I don't remember that. Roll dig number. I number my roll digs. I didn't know that. I don't remember it. Wanda now with the 1940D. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets a 1957. Smooches for you, Sherm. You got our favorite lady after you. Duck. And cover. We love you. Tim Kuntz. It's a good German name. 1953S for Tim. Stone Cutter. It's a 43 Philly. Pretty looking 43 Philly there. Ding! It is 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Mountain. 7 o'clock Pacific. Sissy. And a 46D for Sissy. Mr. Fletcher gets a 45, Philadelphia. Mr. Worley gets a 41, Philly. 41, Philadelphia. 7 p.m. Pacific, that's right. Jim Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher, 55D. Little toning on that one. It's a pretty coin. 55D. Now we have, oh, there's a blank one. There is a blank one. That would be for Mr. G. He gets a 43S. How about that? 43S is a tough one, brother. You got a good one there. You got a good one. And make a little more room in my box. These flips take up a lot more room than the coins do. So if you start with a box full of coins and you fill it up with flips, you end up with 3 boxes of coins with flips. Wanda is up next, and she gets a 1949D. 49D for Wanda. We've got, I'm going to go with probably about 20 chips left. About 20 left. Ronald. 57D for Ronald. Parviz. 49 Philadelphia. 49 Philly for Parviz. Next up, Sureg. Sureg back again. Gets a 1940. Philadelphia. 40 Philadelphia. But he was playing with 40s a lot in his game, so he probably got 40s and 41s, enough to start a tube. A tuba. 1955D for Mr. Worley. Is there another game chip? How many games have we played? 3 or 4? Okay, I'll look in here and then I'll mix them up. I don't know how many black chips we've got left. I don't think. No, we don't have any black chips left. Did we play 4 games? Let's see. We got one for Paul. We got one for Sureg. We got one for... who else? We had to have played 4. I don't remember who, though. Let's see here. Okay, this was Malcolm. So we did Malcolm, we did Sureg, we did Paul. And I think there was one more. Frosty. That's right. So we've exhausted all of the game chips this time. Mr. Fletcher. I've only got about 15, 20 chips left. And they're all names. Wow, look at that. Oh, man. Look at the toning on that. That's a toner. It's a nice one, too. Jesse. Jesse up next. And Jesse, I'm not going to give him that coin. It's a 58D. I don't want to have 58D. I'll give him the next one. 51D. 51D. Isn't that nice, right? Crispy. 51S for Crispy. So all of our chips, all of our bonus extra and pretty black chips are gone. Kelly. Running us down to the end of the wire here. 1940D, a nice one too. What's up, Sandigger? All right, Sureg. Oh, 57D for Sureg. Jesse. 56 Philadelphia for Jesse. Ah, the toning. You like the toning. I like toning too. Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder picks up a 1944 D. It's getting a little more properly oriented in there in that box. Another one for Miss Fletcher. Miss Fletcher gets a 1953 D. 53 D. Let's see here. Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray gets a 1941. A bullseye around the 19 of the date there. That's not pretty. Hang on. Let's do this. I'll grab another coin out of the box back here. Okay, well, it's a 57D, but it's a freebie. I didn't like the 41 very much, so I gave Kelly another one. Kelly Ray, you got 2 coins there. Sand Digger, you are up next, sir. Sand Digger is up next, and Sand Digger picks a 1939. I don't believe your luck sometimes. So I think you've got a spell on me. Some of the stuff Jens guys pick out of here. Paul Hampton, 1952S. It's a tough year right there. 52S. Next up, back to Sand Digger. Back to Sand Digger. What does Sand Digger get this time? How about a 1940 Philadelphia? 40 Philly. Sand Digger got a 40 Philly? The man, he's a sorcerer, I tell you. He's a sorcerer. Don't get on his bad side. He'll put a spell on you. Parviz up next. Parviz gets 1957. I guess I'll just talk about Powerball. This must be the night where they're dragging out a big giant Powerball. How much is it? I'm not even watching. I don't care. Tyler. I already given them all the money they're going to get out of me. 1949D. 49D for Tyler. And, well, there's Tyler again. 650 million or so. Just 650. 1940. 1940 for Tyler. Is that what he just got? No, he got a 49D. Okay. I can't even keep... I'm so poor I can't pay attention. How many chips do I have left? There's about a dozen left in here. They're not going as fast as I thought they would. Alright, Sissy's up next. A Sissy with a 57D. 57D. She's probably asleep again. Probably fall all the way back asleep again. Paul Hampton with a 41D. Oh, look at the colors. The colors. That's got nice colors. You'll never lose another auction on here. All right, we're going to be running a 1945 plain roll here. I'm going to start it at $60. And then Doug bids $4,500. I'll take it. Here, ruin the show for everybody else. 55S. That's for Tim. And if I get any billionaires in here, we're going to have to talk. Can't have you overbidding stuff all the time, because then nobody else wants to come. Kelly, 41 Philly. Kelly Michaud, 41 Philly. That's right, 950. 950, 65. Y'all. Frostbite. 950, 65, y'all. 53D. I got something to show you. Jim Fletcher. Jim Fletcher now with a 1952 Philadelphia. 52 Philly. Don't have much left. Almost there. Mr. Adams, a 53S for Mr. Adams. That makes some more room in my box. My box, it runneth over. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chips remaining. 5 chips remaining. Their order is sealed. I just put them in a stack. I'm going to pull them off the stack. Mr. Adams is my first out of 5. First out of 5, and it gets a 1955 Philadelphia. 55 Philly for Mr. Adams. Next it is a blue chip, and it's Cap Morgan. Cap Morgan gets a 1945S. 1945S for Cap Morgan. Well, hey, Wanda. You were in the game. You missed it, but you were in the game. Paul? Paul Hampton, 1944 Denver. You'll probably never see a 44D in this game again. Carl? Carl, how about a 43D? I think that's more than one Steely for you. And last, but not least, is Mr. Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm is the last place in this game, the last poker chip drawn anyway, gets a 1952D. And that, boys and girls, is this edition of the singles pull. Hope you guys had a good time. I did. We all know I have a good time. And Malcolm got the very last draw in the box. Better late than never. We love you, Wanda. That's right. Closing out the show is Malcolm. And we leave you tonight with the sound of a bulldog snoring. No, actually, I wouldn't do that to you. He makes me sleep. He put me to sleep earlier today. Damn dog. Sitting next to me, and I was going to watch a quick show and then get back to work. I fell asleep and stayed asleep for an hour and a half. I guess I needed it, but still. All right, folks. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you next time. Let's see, what are we doing? It's Monday. Tomorrow is the auction. Tomorrow's the big auction. You guys need to show up because I've got stuff coming up at auction tomorrow that you haven't seen before. Other stuff you haven't seen in a long time. So make sure you show up at the auction. I got some goodies tomorrow. See you then.